Hi there ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the latest Forex Weekly. So last week we had a lot of success with the trades. This week we're just going to see how it's all progressed and of course see what the best opportunities are going to be for the week. So if that sounds good to you, if you trade, if you take investments yourself, my advice, hit that subscribe button in the bottom right corner, stay up to date with the channel. I've got a very exciting week ahead of me. My website, www.capitalatrading.co.uk, launches this week. Look out for that. Okay, with that being said, a quick shout out to the Absolutely magazine and my sponsors. Thank you for everything that you've done for me. It's available now in all Waitrose and M&S stores. Let's get into it, and of course we'll start by checking out the fundamentals.
Okay guys, all good traders at the start of the week, you must do this, and it's the first thing I'm recommending that you do. Check out the fundamentals, go throughout the week, learn about which ones are powerful, which ones are going to do which, and you'll get a little bit of guidance with that from me. And then of course you look at the charts and see what looks best, what is looking like most likely to happen that week. So the first thing I want to mention is Monday. None of that news really says anything to me, excites me. I don't see anything in there that's really going to cause a big reaction in the market. Now, the rest of the week is very explosive. I'm going to move straight into Tuesday here. We've got the Australian dollar's interest rate decision at 5:30 a.m. So very early in the week, we're going to hopefully see something with the Australian dollar. I'll be watching how that goes on Monday night, just seeing what it's going to kind of do for that early hours of Tuesday morning. Wednesday, again, not much, nothing to really write home about. Then this is where the week's really going to become explosive. Now, Thursday, we've got some massive news. We've got the pound interest rate. You can see there's loads of different things there with people speaking. And so that's going to cause definitely a reaction in the pound, definitely something to look out for. The rest of Thursday, again, nothing really to write home about. We've got the unemployment rate for the Canadian dollar on Friday, just after the New York session opens. So I'll be looking at that. But the main piece of news for the week, again, this does tend to cause what I would say less volatile weeks. It will be predictably a slow week to start with. And then, of course, by Thursday, I'm expecting to see a lot more of explosiveness in the charts. That's the NFP, that's the non-farm payroll. So there will be something around the US dollar on Friday. I'm expecting the market to go up, grab liquidity, go down, grab liquidity. So expect to see a candle with a lot of wicks on it. So with that being said, let's get into the charts. Okay, as always, I'm going to start with gold. That's going to be the gold euro and the gold USD now. Last Sunday, I mentioned this area about becoming a buy around the 1520, 1525 mark. We got that push late in the week, and it looks like it's now starting to retest back towards the area. And again, you'll notice that gold USD had a bit more of a movement to the upside. We've held the area. Yes, there was some dips, and then again made that nice move to the upside, looking like it's just coming back to have a retest. So basically what I'm suggesting this week is just keep an eye on this 1805 to 1800, still the same level that I've marked out. I just want to see price come back, retest the area. I'm not expecting it to dip lower like these weeks did and then fly off. So just keep an eye on that early in the week, Monday, Tuesday. Let's see if price is going to bubble here. If it's going to maybe stall here for a little bit, that will give me a bit more confidence for the area. And then, of course, I'm expecting to see that movement to the upside, at least to around the 1860 mark, where I can see price has a strong reason to be there. So keep an eye on the gold USD. The next one will be the gold euro. The number I'm going to ask you to watch for is around the 1525, let's say 1528. Of course, that's where price basically is now. I just want to see price stick here for a little bit longer. And then I'm going to be predicting that it's going to make that movement to the upside. Again, the target for this one would be around the 1565, 1570 level to take out that liquidity up there. So keep an eye on them. That's the gold euro and the gold USD. Next up is the US 30. I've been mentioning a sell around the 3,500 mark. So just to be precise, it's around there. And we've kind of had price cooking in the area. This looks good to me. I like the way that it's kind of stalled, stopped making a new high. And I'm just going to see what's going to happen now. So I am aware that the US 30 does just make new highs and tends to head to the upside. So I'm going to kind of keep an open mind this week. I'm going to watch and see what looks most likely. So let me explain. The week ended around here. It looks like it's played off of this candle over here. Again, it was an 8 o'clock candle, taps into there, and then it looks like it may now go and have that movement to start the week off. Now, the next piece of price action was this candle, the wick, just reaching up towards this level. That looks familiar to me. It looks like there's something going on there. So yes, there's a bit of confusion. Not sure whether to be a seller from this point or a buyer down here. I'm going to see how Monday goes and make my decision early whether to even trade this at all. So just keep an eye on this one. It's the US 30. It is in a kind of a building up stage. So let's just see what it's going to do this week. Let's see what looks most likely. And if there's a trading opportunity that looks good to me, I will execute. If not, I'll avoid this one and move on to some different opportunities. So keep an eye on that. That's the US 30. Hey, next up, one of my favorites is the UK 100. Now, for those of you who follow me, you'll know that I've been speaking about this area for ages. It's got here, it's started to stall, it's starting to have these little pushes down. So what I'm expecting is long term, I'm expecting to see price just come up into these two red lines here, interact with this candle, and then have the big movement to the downside. So if I just come down a time frame, this is what I mentioned last week. I told everybody to watch out for this area, watch out for this candle. It looks familiar. It looks like something that I'm used to seeing the market makers do. And then at some point in the week, price shoots down, taps into the level, and then we get the perfect buy entry up to here. Now, I'm expecting price to at least get to them red lines. So this week, it looks like they're going to have a retest from where that candle happens. So that tells me that market makers are in that area now. This may be their new block where they'd be looking to play price from. These 2 wicks show me that that's got potential to be true, what I just said. So I'll just be kind of looking at the 7,000 mark, nice key number. It looks like it's been manipulated the more I look at that now. And I'm expecting it to at least rise up to the 7,200, 7,230 to be precise, somewhere up there, and then back to the downside. So keep an eye on that one. That's the UK 100. Next up is the Euro Pound. This is the baby. Shout out to a couple of my students who was writing this down with me last week from this point here. Literally, sorry, 2 weeks ago, we've been holding on to this trade. Shout out to Adelena. And basically, it's been a very profitable situation. Now, all I'm expecting is a continuation of what we're seeing. I'm not expecting any strength from the euro anytime soon. As you notice, this has just been moving to the downside. So again, I've noticed a lot of action in here that looks familiar. Looks like the way I describe it to my students is that they're just walking down the stairs. They're about to go create another step and then start making a new movement down. So all I'm going to suggest this week is look for the 85,600, 85,700 level. Remember, we've got that pound interest rate decision towards the end of the week on Thursday. So again, if that correlates with that, brilliant. Take your trade, take your investment, and see how it pans out. That's going to be the euro pound. I'm saying look out for the 85,600 point for a sell. Now the pound USD is going to be the similar story. All we've had is rising, rising, and rising last week, staying intact with the structure. If you look at this 4-hour time frame, the first area I'm going to monitor is just seeing how it's going to interact around the 138, to be precise, the 139 level. Basically just seeing what's going to happen there. Again, with the interest rate decision, is price going to stall here at the start of the week? And then we're going to see that pound strength. If it doesn't from that level, I'm going to be monitoring the 138. It's basically something looks familiar here as how I know the market makers like to move. And I believe there's something that they need to come back to in that area, interact with, and then fly off. So just keep an eye on them two key numbers, see where price is sitting around the interest rate decision. So if it's coming up to Thursday, if it's sitting there, staying in that level, I believe one of them are going to see the push, and that's where the new high will come from. So just keep an eye on that one. That's the pound USD. Last one in this section is the euro USD. Now, about 2 weeks ago, I mentioned there being a buy from this level, from this little piece of imbalance here, and it's starting to really have the progression away from that area now. So again, with this one, I'm just looking to see a continuation. I want to see price come back towards this level, let's say around the key number of 118, maybe 118, 200, just somewhere there, get a retest, and then continue with the euro strength, because I do have targets for this one long term. I'm expecting to see price maybe back at the 121 level. So again, there's a nice, good 250 pip, 300 pip range there. So keep an eye on them. That's the pound USD, the euro pound, and the euro USD. Next up, I'm going to do the euro AUD and the pound AUD. Remember, we've got that AUD news early in the week. So this is an area that I've been mentioning for ages now. For those of you who follow me, I've been talking about the sell from this market gap area here. Price came up to it, chucked out around a 200 pip move from the level. Very good trade. It now looks like it's going to another one. So I've spotted another one around the 163 level. Remember, I'm looking to see price get there with the news. Hopefully during the night, you can place your trade, wake up in the morning in some good profits. So just keep an eye on that level for the start of the week. I'm going to say, to be precise, around the 162, 500 to the 163. Somewhere in there, I believe price is going to come and interact with that level and then get another maybe small push like that. Again, it's nothing to turn your nose up at. A 200 pip move to the downside can be a very profitable situation for you. That's going to be the Euro AUD. Now, the next one I wanted to talk about, last week, I mentioned that this would rise higher, as I believe there's a target that it's heading to up here. So again, kind of similar to the Euro AUD, I want to see price come up towards that 192 level. It's going to have to happen very early in the week. So I don't think it will happen by Tuesday, but keep an eye on it throughout the whole week. 192 level, I want to see price interact with it, to be precise, the 191, 500. See if we're going to get that similar picture, them similar moves. I'll be waiting, and then if I can see something that I'm familiar with, I'll be taking that sell position there. So keep an eye on them. That's the Euro AUD and the Pound AUD. Next up is going to be the USD Swiss Franc. This is going to be one of my main focuses for the week. It looks like my favorite opportunity. It's got a lot of confluences. It's got a lot of reasons to get into the trade. So first thing I want to talk about is the gap that's been created in this area. Again, just above the key level of the 0.90. So I'm going to be looking at how price just comes down and interacts with this candle here. Again, we've got that news. We've got the non-farm payrolls on Friday. So again, I'll be just seeing how it's going to kind of correlate with the fundamentals, seeing what the best time will be to pull the trigger. I am back in the US dollar here, and I'm expecting it to at least rise towards the 93, 500 level. I'm not expecting all of this to happen in a week, but I'm just going to be looking at focusing on the entry, seeing if we can get a good position this week. Hopefully within 2 weeks, we might have seen our target reached. That is the USD Swiss Franc. I'm now going to show you the most successful trade from last week. A lot of my students are riding this with me, and it's the Pound Swiss Franc. So again, got a lot of reasons for those of you that know, my students that know the reasons to get in and enter this area here. We've got the market gap. We've had price come back to this manipulated area. And then on Friday, it really started to show its hand and started to push down. And that's when the profits were received. So with that now, I'm just kind of expecting this to continue. So if there's anything, it will be a retest towards the 126,200, 126,400, and then hopefully more continuation of that Swiss franc power. Now, what I want you to understand about these two trades is I don't believe both of them will be successful. One of them will happen, one of them won't. That will be your judgment, just seeing what looks most likely as to what I've predicted. So keep an eye on them both. That's the USD Swiss franc and the Pound Swiss franc. Next up is going to be the Pound NZD. Now, the daily time frame is telling me that this area has been raided for liquidity. It looks like we could start to get price just sort of walking down the stairs. Let me explain. Now, if I just get to a 2 hour, this candle on the 1 hour looks very out of the ordinary for me. It looks like, who did that? Why did it shoot up? Why did it shoot down? Why has it almost held price below it and then made movements to the downside? So if I just get to a 2 hour, it does look a bit clearer. What I want to explain is the markets were manipulated here. Price moves down, comes back to the level. It looks like it gets manipulated again, moves down to the next step, manipulated again, and moves down to the next step. So it looks like price is just waiting to hit off of here and then continue to make a new low. So I'll be just looking at around, to be precise, the 199,750 level. That's where I'm going to be looking to enter for a sell and then ride down to at least the 197 round number. So keep an eye on that. That's going to be the Pound NZD. Again, if you can correlate that with a nighttime entry, the New Zealand dollar and the Australian dollar for us UK people usually get stronger while we're sleeping. That's the Pound NZD. The Euro NZD, I had the perfect trade on this recently. I mentioned the sell from the 170,500 mark. We had a perfect drop. I mentioned the target being the 168 level. So an area to stop, pull your profits, and maybe think about a buy. It then rises up, goes back up to that level. Great trade. We again get another sell from around that area, dropping down. Price returns back to that 170,500 again. And if you look at it, it looks like it's about to have another problem with going higher than this area. So again, I'm kind of just copying a trade that I did around 2 weeks ago. I'm saying look out for this 170,500 level. They've obviously manipulated it before. There looks like they could be manipulating it again. So keep an eye on that one. That's the Euro NZD. Okay, next up is the USD Cad. Again, keeping in mind that we've got that news. We've even got the Cad unemployment rate just around the NFP. So this would look to go absolutely AWOL at that time. So my prediction is I want to see price get a little bit lower. I want to see the CAD be strong throughout the week. Towards the end of the week, I'm looking to take a buy position for the US dollar around the 123.500 mark down there, looking to just see price explode to the upside, even taking out the 128 level. So keep an eye on that one. That's going to be the USD Cad. The next one in this department will be the USD JPY. Now, let me explain what I'm seeing here. Ages ago, well, not ages ago, around a couple of weeks back towards the start of the month, I was looking at a buy around this area, around the 110.500, 110.600 to be precise. It showed a little bit of promise and then ripped through the area. That's the market makers taking liquidity, taking out the stop losses, taking out some traders from this market. What they've now done is known as a breaker. So they've played this area, made out to be a buy, broken through, and they're now playing the sell side. So they're literally just coming back to the same level, but dropping price from it now. I believe we're going to get another one from this area, maybe just below. So what I'm suggesting is to keep an eye out for the 110.400, 110.500, maybe 110.200. I just want to see how high price is going to get before we start seeing some yen strength. And again, just keep an eye on that one. I believe we're going to get a sell around 110.400. Okay, next up is the pound yen, and it's this daily picture that's kind of exciting me. Again, I've mentioned this sell area around the 155.700. We've had a good move. It looks like it's now kind of walking down the steps again. So let me explain. It looks like the markets were manipulated here. Price shot down, came back towards the level, came down again, back towards the level, down again, back towards the level, down again, back towards the level. So are we going to get the down again? Now, if I just come down to a 4 hour, it's this level here. So it's this scenario around the 153.700, 153.500. I'm looking to see price just come here early in the week, start to struggle again, show me a sign of a wick, and then I'll be looking to try and ride that down to at least the 150 level, where I can see there's definitely a reason for the market to come down there, maybe even further. So again, just keep an eye on that one. That's going to be the pound yen. Again, remember, the yen is a safe haven currency. For us UK people, this will tend to get stronger during the night. Just be aware of that. Okay, next up is going to be the Eurocad. I'm kind of speaking about this trade due to one of my students who kind of mentioned the area to me, pointed it out after a few lessons of learning with me, and was able to actually catch an 125 pip move to the upside by just understanding where price was and what it was doing. Now, it came from the area that we're actually sitting in now. So what I'm kind of suggesting is just to keep an eye out for this 147.500, 147.200 level. What you want to see is price come into that area, show a wick, a long wick dipping in, and then price reject, showing that the selling pressure got absorbed, and then now is some buyers in the market, which will fuel it, hopefully to the upside, again, with a target at least to the 150 mark. So keep an eye on that. That's going to be the Eurocad. Remember, there's some news surrounding the CAD on Friday.
Okay, guys, so that's all from me this week. My advice, keep an eye on the investments that I've mentioned. See if you can maybe catch one, get yourself into a profitable situation. And of course, if you take trades, if you invest yourself, my advice, hit that subscribe button in the bottom right corner. Stay up to date with the channel. There's a lot of exciting content coming within the next month. The first thing I want to mention is the new website, www.capitalatrading.co.uk. That launches early this week. Look out for that. The next thing I want to talk about, the beginner's guide, that will be coming within the month. Again, keep an eye on that. And there's a new video, a new segment, advanced education. You'll see that video pop up at the end of this one. That'll be the link. And it's about market gaps, a very important part of trading. My advice, take a look at it. Very powerful method. Okay, guys, have a great trading week.
Bye, have a great time.